Mr. Kampf, you are the president of Northwood Retail, a subsidiary of Northwood Investors LLC. First, can you tell me how involved you were with this acquisition of Utica Square and how this came about, really?
Yeah, what I would say is, grew up in Oklahoma City. Being an Oklahoman, I've always known Utica was a phenomenal center, since I was a kid. And I've spent a lot of time, and I got a call last May um, from the guys that were taking it out for the family, for Hans and the Helmerich and Payne guys, and I was one of their first calls. And I was just like, wow. And then we were up at the lake, and my wife and I our flight was delayed, like 2 weeks later. I was at Queenie's having lunch, never, looking at it. And then the next thing I was up in Utah like 2 days later at a strategy session. I said, this thing's dynamic, and, you know, we want to be involved. In fact, we ran into a couple friends while we were there at Queenie's. And so, it's just heavily involved from a standpoint of, knowing the asset, knowing the city, um, and then we have a great team, whether it's been our operations team or marketing, et cetera, development, and then acquisitions, et cetera. So we've been to Tulsa a lot. We like the city in the last year. So this has been going on for better part of 10 months, 11 months.
So I take it that the business owners, visitors, people who've been here decades should know that this is not exactly one of those private equity groups from Chicago, New York, who have never heard of or been here until this business acquisition. This is not one of those situations. This is a group or people who have been there and know what it's about. Is that a fair
Yeah,
message you want to
yeah.
send?
I mean, I think Utica is, is a landmark asset. It's a historic landmark. I think it's, the fabric of Tulsa. I'd say, I've had friends that have heard about. I've had a couple friends in the last couple hours that have seen it, but I had a friend that's from Tulsa, and he said Utica is Tulsa, and that's not to knock anything else. There's a lot of incredible things in Tulsa, but Utica is a very, very significant, you know, part of Tulsa. And, just where it sits location wise, and how they play to the community. I think, those guys have done it really right. And I think the events they do, whether it's lights on, summer's fifth night, I mean, I think they do all of it right.
Well, you capped off the first paragraph of the press release this afternoon by saying existing employees supporting Utica Square operations are expected to continue in their roles. So, what other plans or visions can you lay out that you want people to know about now?
I think the most important thing was, it's great to get a good asset or a great asset in a great city, but it doesn't happen without great people. So I think, retaining the team was really important to us because it's all about the people and the relationships they have. And then next, where the old vacant department store was, or the grassy area on the east side, we're looking at, potential development plans for that. And we're laying that out. And then just, if you know anything about our portfolio, this is kind of what we do is specialty retail. And so, just kind of slowly upgrading, you know, as, spaces become available, and then, just enhancing it, pavers, it's a unique asset. Those clocks, the phone booths, everybody that's been there, they always go in this phone booths. Do they work? I mean, there aren't 30 of those in the country. So we're excited.
Yeah, that was one of my other questions. The main headline about a month and a half ago was that Saks Fifth Avenue department store announcing its closing. You say that you're definitely going to look at trying to bring something back to that. I'm curious what exactly you can say are the ambitions for that and overall ambitions for any changes. Because right now it sounds like you don't want to make any revolutionizing changes right now.
Yeah, just say that's, we're evaluating that piece. Um, the rest of it, there's some things we want to do, aesthetically immediately, whether it's paint, brick pavers, stuff like that. But the hard stuff, we're laying it out. Um, um, Currently, we've had some teams up there kind of laying that newer area out on the east side. And, we just continue to, over a 60 to 90 day, make some small improvements and then kind of a longer visions over the next 24 to 36 months. And I think, over the next 3 to 5 years, this will be a really, really great asset. And, you know, it'll lift all boats around it, just everything that's happening.
So how soon should folks be expecting some of these any changes or any further announcements, I guess?
I think as far as just, some of the early stuff that just, the easy stuff, I think over the next 90 days, where we just go through whether it's paint, striping, clean things that haven't been touched, the clocks, etc., some of the signage, that stuff's kind of already in the
Co-
works. And
Cosmetics.
then, as far as marketing, carrying on those events, how do you make them better? We had, the arborist there for the trees, over the last couple of days, just the simple things, you want to do now and the longer, bigger capital things we're laying out. So, we're excited for that.
And this took effect today. Is that right?
The actual asset closed today. Yes.
Okay. And at the bottom, it gives a little bit of background about Northwood Retail, how you have assets such as Austin, Charlotte, Nashville, Dallas. These are high profile places. But again, the message you're sending is Tulsa's right up there with, or Utica Square is right up there with it, is what you're saying.
I think Utica Square is such a unique asset. People today know where their e-com businesses or e-commerce, and they know kind of within a quarter of a mile to half a mile where they want to put their store. So, those are dynamic cities. Those are high octane cities that you just named. Nashville. Austin was in Nashville yesterday, but Tulsa's just steadily always had growth. I've watched it, all my life, and there's a lot of, all the way into Northwest Arkansas. It's a very, very dynamic, asset with a market that's had very steady growth. Versus some of these towns have been just, you know, parabolic and then they level off. So but we think Tulsa is is a very unique asset with you know some really dynamic. um I think it's a dynamic. I think one thing is fundamental to it. It's it's a timeless piece of real estate. The architecture is kind of one of one. It's kind of idyllic is what we call it. And then I think, the open air piece, the angled parking, it's kind of everything we look for. Convenience, you're always going to be fighting 2 hour delivery. And I think it's a place people want to go and be. And then, I'd just say, kind of the last thing, I think it's one of the better pieces of real estate in the state of Oklahoma. I just do. I think it's that good a piece of real estate. 21st Utica, the hospital, you're buffered by the freeway to the east and the river to the west. So, I think that, you're somewhat insulated. So that makes sense.
So you're thinking long term, by the way.
Yeah.
Okay. And by the way, you talk about how great Tulsa. Does this mean that we could expect maybe Northwood to look at other Tulsa properties? Is that
Yeah, it's funny. Somebody just called me about something. It's funny. Things go in ways you never know. I mean, trying to absorb this and today, but like somebody literally called about something. Um, and, you know, there are things I would immediately say no to, and it actually you're kind of like, so anyway, we'll see where that goes. But for now, we're going to focus on Utica.
should I also take that as a never say never?
Right. Yes.
Okay. Um, well, yeah, Mr. Kampf, is there anything else that before we part that you want to make sure that these viewers understand about this?
We want to thank the H&P team. I want to thank Hans, Sean Frankfurt, Cassandra, Nick, all their whole team is they have some wonderful people there. And so, this is it's been in the Helmrich family for, 6 decades. And I want to personally just thank Hans and the family for picking us. And it means a lot. It does. And so, you know, we've got a lot to do for the community. We want to be givers, not just takers. And so we want to get involved with the community.
Forgive me for not asking this sooner. Are there any specifics of the acquisition cost included that you can say?
There'll be a public record. All that's kind of getting sorted out right now. In fact, I think the wire just hit, so that'll all come out. The deed, the record, and all that stuff. So yeah, it should all be public record in the next, day or two.